Jeff Idelson, and Jeff is here for a very special occasion tomorrow night. We'll talk about Will Ferrell later, but it's nice of you to join us, and I can't thank you enough for what was the most incredible weekend of my life in Cooperstown this year.
Well, it was really special and a great weekend. I'm glad your family and friends could be there to enjoy it. Very well deserved.
You've been with the Hall of Fame now 20 years. You had some baseball background. You as an intern out of college in Boston, then you were with the Yankees in media relations.
I was. It's kind of like being on both sides of the political aisle, being in Boston and then New York. But I was lucky to work for two great family-owned organizations, the Rockies and the Steinbrenners, and now in Cooperstown. It's a great trio.
Now, Jeff, the last few years, you've had some really good classes going into the Hall of Fame. Obviously, he's going in, and it was such a great weekend. Does it get better and better for you every single year in the experiences that you guys put on?
Absolutely, Mark. I mean, it's every class is unique, and you played the game, you understand. But every class is unique and has its own set of characters. And great guys went in. 4 great guys this year: Biggio and Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson, and John Smoltz. And looking ahead to next year, and who knows what we'll get dealt. But I know there's a guy that pitched here for a long time, and we'll see what the writers think.
Yeah, and you think of Trevor Hoffman and that opportunity to go in. I know it would be huge. Obviously, Tony Gwynn, Mr. Padre, was in, and also that opportunity for Trevor Hoffman. He's done a lot in this uniform, and it would be an extra special occasion for fans here in San Diego.
What's the process now? When will the voting take? The Baseball Writers of America are those that make that decision. Is there a limit as to how many can be inducted in a given year?
No, there's no limit, Dick. So the writers have a month of December to vote. It's about 600 of the men and women who do so, and any candidate who receives votes on 75% of the ballots earns election.
That's really tough. You got to get 75%. There have been so many outstanding players who haven't made it, and yet we're close 65-70% of the votes. I think about Gil Hodges, how he didn't make it.
He's I believe has the most or the highest percentage of guys who have not gotten in. You certainly can make a case for Gil, but you have Ken Griffey Jr. next year and Trevor leading the class, and two guys who had some unbelievable numbers. Unbelievable.
Well, you're speaking and singing with a choir here in San Diego. How thrilling it would be for Trevor to make it. His 51's up there, and everyone loves the man, and for good reason. He was not only a great relief pitcher, but he played the game the right way.
Well, and earning election to the Hall of Fame is about the career you had, excellence over your entire career, but it's also about how you treated the game and respected it. And as you say, there's no one who respected the game more than he did.
Jeff, also too, I had the luxury of having one of those special tours when we went and played those games, and it is a fabulous event to just go and see the history of the game. But what you're talking about too is it's not only the numbers that you put up, but also the way you played the game and the creativity of everybody in the Hall of Fame. That's really speaks volumes when you go on that tour, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, and again, showing how difficult it is to get in. There's been 18,500 players thereabouts since the National League was formed in 1876 that have played the game. 1% are in Cooperstown, 215 players out of 18,500. So for the guys who are a little bit on the outside looking in, they're maybe in the top 2%. So it's difficult to get in, and it is a special place. The museum is terrific. Players have been incredibly generous in donating artifacts, as have the teams, and without their generosity, we wouldn't have the museum that we do.
Well, you fans who have not been able to make it to Cooperstown, I mean, it is a treat. And you're not, if you go, don't go for one day, because you could spend a whole week in that museum and not see everything. I'm just noting here, 40,000 artifacts, 135,000 baseball cards, 3 million documents, 14,000 hours of audio and video. I mean, it is, if you're a baseball fan, it's the candy store.
It is, and as we kind of think of ourselves as the Smithsonian and Library of Congress rolled into one for baseball, because we are where the game is documented, and the game has had such a rich history, not only in it unto itself, but its permutation in American culture.
Well, Jeff, also special moments too, and the Padres just had a special moment. They're first in their history with Matt Kemp having the cycle. Did you get some stuff from Matt Kemp and showing that in the Hall of Fame?
Matt's in the Hall of Fame. We have artifacts from earlier in his career, but we don't have anything from the cycle, so probably have to ask him.
Well, I think he'd be eager to give you a bat or a shoes or maybe the ball itself. This is Carl Crawford, who homered his first time up, and a weak wave at that delivery from Shields. Rollins has led off with a walk here in the Dodger third, a 2-2 tie. We're talking with Jeff Idelson, the president of the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. I think a lot of fans don't understand. They think that the Hall of Fame is part of the aegis of the Major League Baseball. It is not. It's a separate entity, a private, charitable, nonprofit organization that really is run by you folks there in Cooperstown. There's one. Back to first, not in time, not close to a double play ball opportunity off the bat of Crawford. One away.
Well, nice play by Will Myers, keeping that in front. The double play ball. Spangenberg didn't have time with Carl Crawford getting down the line. But as we take a look at this is a slowly hit ground ball. Nice turn by Jed Jerko and a good feed, but not having time to get the fast Carl Crawford down the line.
That'll bring up Adrian Gonzalez, and always the mixed chorus of applause and boos for Adrian. Always puzzles me why fans would, after his great time here in San Diego, would boo him because the Padres couldn't sign him. It wasn't his fault. He wanted to stay. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe there'll be a time where Gonzalez is San Diego's own. High school. Great years here with the Padres. Will again wear that SD on his uniform.
Padre fans are such great baseball fans. When Tony went in, Tony Gwynn in 2007, along with Cal Ripken, town of 1,800 we have, as you know, Dick. One stoplight.
How many people?
82,000.
Wow.
82,000 came out for Tony and
Cal.
I'm glad, and Cal, and I'm so glad Tony got to experience it. He was a special guy.
And his wife and family were there this year to represent Tony. Foul again by Gonzalez. Now then there's the other old timers, and as I recall last year, Tony Oliva and Richie Allen came one vote away from making it, but there's only 16 votes. They had to get 12.
Right.
And they didn't make it.
They just missed by one. It's difficult to get in even with a small voting electorate. So.
Well, that's got to be tough to be on that committee.
Yes.
So you're there in that candy store day after day after. What thrills you most about your job?
Well, you know, I think, Dick, just how much I appreciate the game's history, and as it unfolds on the field, to know that we have the responsibility in Cooperstown of documenting it, that the players are glad to be a part of it, that the team support us. We are independent, as you said, and not for profit, but the realization that baseball's had such an important part in shaping American culture, and to have a small part as a caretaker now and making sure that that history continues to be told, to me is incredibly exciting.
And a fan who would want to make plans to go back either for the induction ceremony or any other time of the year. In many ways, it's better to go at another time where it's not so crowded, where you have that beautiful little village to yourself, and the museum isn't quite so crowded.
Right. Like as Yogi says, nobody goes there because it's too crowded. Nobody goes there anymore.
Hello to Gonzalez. So you just go online to baseballhalloffame.com?
Baseballhall.org. And yeah, we're open the year round. Busiest between Memorial Day and Labor Day, but look, if you like fall foliage, if you've never experienced that and you're from the West Coast, it's beautiful with the leaves turning colors. If you want to be brave and come get in a snowball fight with me on Main Street, come in December.
And it's one of the great hotels in the country, the Otesaga Hotel, that houses all the Hall of Famers when they come back. But in the non-induction time, that's available too. That's got to be one of the top 10 most beautiful hotels I've ever been in.
It is. It's on the historic register. It's a historic hotel. It's got a great golf course with it on a lake, Otsego, which is beautiful. It's really a charming village, and you almost feel like you're stepping into a Rockwell painting.
Jeff, I'd like to go back to Trevor Hoffman. Obviously, Mariano Rivera. You're thinking about the closers of the game in this type of era and how things have changed. What's it going to take? Because you think about the Lee Smiths and the Bruce Gossages of the world. The relief pitching has changed, and the closers especially. What's going to have to change for those two to get in? Obviously, I think Mariano Rivera is a shoe-in because of the success with the Yankees. But how about a Trevor Hoffman involved with that? Is the process going to change because the game has changed?
I think so. I mean, it's, you know, look, I mean, you can't argue with the success that Trevor had. I mean, it's right there in front of you, and I think.
Ground ball, they'll get one there, back to first, no throw. Weakly hit ground ball, no chance for the double play, so 2 out.
I think, you know, the writers have had a hard time quantifying relief pitching and closers. And look, it took Goose like 8 or 9 years to get in. Lee Smith's on the outside looking in.
Yes.
I don't know, but it's undeniable. It's an important position. The DH is another one. Edgar Martinez, whatever you think of him. The table was set for, with Paul Molitor going in ahead of him. And hopefully with guys like Goose and Eck, Raleigh Fingers, Suter, all being in there, Hoyt Wilhelm, that'll hopefully have the writers focused on the importance of relief pitching and especially closers.
And of course, this city and all the fans of Trevor Hoffman rooting for him to get that initial ballot, get that out of the way and not have to worry about sitting on the sidelines for yet another season. It's got to be agonizing, and so many players, great players, have had to do just that.
It's tough. I remember with Jim Rice. I worked with Jim in Boston in the 80s, and 15 years. He went on the 15th ballot, and I'd call him every year, and I'd say, Jimmy, just stay cool, man, because it's going to happen eventually, and it did. And maybe for him it's a little sweeter, because he had to wait that much longer. And as Goose Gossett said, nobody ever scared me when I was on the mound, but Jim Rice came the closest.
Well, there's so much talent at this level, and you're talking about the elite of the elites. And I think that's where you have to really preserve that, and you guys do a fabulous job at doing so.
Utley, runner at first, 2 outs. Well, I forever will be thankful for the graciousness of everyone involved and the generosity and how beautifully organized and orchestrated the whole time on that weekend was. It was absolutely perfect. And I've said it, and people say, really? How good was it? Was it better than you thought? I said, it's the greatest weekend of my life.
That's nice to hear, Dick, and I know how beautiful a speech you gave, which was great for the fans who wanted to hear it and folks from San Diego, and really just a great weekend. 53 Hall of Famers there, which is a huge number, and just a testament to how they feel about Cooperstown as well.
Another walk, Utley, the 2-on, and that was to be able to rub shoulders with baseball history, all the the greatest players in the history of this game, all right there. I took about our first night there. My wife Barbara and I, we got there late at night. First person we saw was Johnny Bench, and without hesitation, Bench comes up and bear hugs me and said, "Enberg, you're in the Hall of Fame." And man, what a way to start your weekend.
It's almost like he threw a no-hitter and then he came out to hug you.
Exactly. And it happened over and over again. And I thought, because we're honorees, not inductees, that we would be kind of a second-class citizen. No, every player, every Hall of Famer treated me just as if I was one of the fraternity. And big thrill.
You are. It's a great baseball family, and we're proud to have you be a part of it, Dick.
Well, Jeff, thank you. Oh, we didn't talk about, or can we talk about why you're here in San Diego? Is it anything to do with Will Ferrell?
It is. He went in spring training and superseded Bert Campaneris by not only playing 9 positions, but actually 10, and for 10 different teams. Kind of like maybe he played a quintuple header. And so they're going to, HBO is going to show his film tomorrow night after the game.
Yeah, up on the big screen right after the game.
On the big screen, and we'll have a little pre-game, pre-film ceremony on the field with Will.
Swing and a miss by young Seager. And it's 1-2 on the third baseman. So, I guess you can't tell us, but are we going to see an invitation to Cooperstown? Are we going to put Ferrell into this Hall of Honor?
Well, Dick, stranger things have happened.
Well, you got the right guy in Will Ferrell. Thank you, Jeff, for being with us. Thank you for all you do for baseball.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
All right.
Good to be with you guys.
All right. See you tomorrow night.
Okay.